Okay guys, back to Answers Hub from the Discord. What we're going to do is we're going to have a quick look through and see where we're up to. So we've done Michael's question about stocks and indices. That's been answered already. We're now looking at Chris's question. So a little salute to you. And the question is quite an interesting one because it's something that everybody asks. I'm looking to start an account purely for swing trading, and I wanted to ask whether there's a good amount of capital to start with, and he's looking at the River strategy. River strategy is a good strategy. It's very solid, battle tested, and it works very well. And on a daily, should I stick with one or two markets or several, etc.? Okay, let's explore this. First of all, you've got to understand that a swing trade has a greater opportunity for a stop loss than a day trade. And what I mean by that is it's going to be big. Okay. So therefore, by definition, if you're swing trading, your account needs to be bigger. Now, if you're day trading, you're dealing with relatively tight stops and you can get away a couple £100, maybe it's £500, you're fine, and you just build it up. Case in point, I can kind of show you my Black Bull account. Give me a cross. Now this is the account that we were building from scratch. It started with 200 and it's now built up into a reasonable fund of 906. This started with £200. Now, one of the beauties of an account like this is the fact that you got leverage with it, which means I can use micro lots and use a bigger stop. So if I want to put £20 down and I've got a £200 account, I can do it if I want. And yes, it's 10% of the account, and yes, it's over leveraged, but it would allow for a big stop and work. And the way you'd work that out is this. If you come up here into symbols, you can pick whatever it is. So for argument's sake, cable, we can come down here and it'll tell me that the minimum volume is 0.01, 10 pence. So on £200, you can have a pretty wide stop on 10 pence. However, if I wanted to say trade indices and I'm looking at things, say like the Dow Jones, and it comes down, well, let's have a look and see what price that is. The volume here is 0.1, which means I can't have the stop very big because that's a pounder point. All right? So your account is important as much as how much you've got inside it. Because if I look at, say, if I just flip this down, an account like this one is an IG account, and I flick down and I go on to the same market, say Wall Street for argument's sake, and I put that on. This has limited leverage, but it's, I don't think you can see it, but it's it has a criteria of 20p a unit, but because of limited leverage, it's £389 for every 20 pence. So the difference between Black Bull and this is the leverage point. So see, this is down to sort of 1 in 6 and 1 in 30, depending on what we're looking at. So £200 would not work on this account, but it'd be fine on Black Bull. I would need roughly about £1,000 in this account just to open up the trades. So it's a hard question to answer in how much, and it depends on what you want out of the market as well. Because if you've got limited funds, you need the leverage. So I would recommend you go with Black Bull and you trade 10, 20p a point on a high leverage account, but you are sizing to the amount of money. So 20 pence on 200, it's not a lot. You can do quite well with that. Okay. For the amount of assets that you want to trade. When you swing trade, you trade them all. You don't need to just look at one or two, because you're looking at daily charts. You can look at all 28 Forex pairs and you'll probably only get one or two signals a week, just one or two. And because it's on motion pushing forward with the swing, in other words, you're just looking for that momentum to run for 2 or 3 days, it's probably all you need. One good trade a week will be fine. So you want to be, if I'm realistic, open black bull, put it on the leverage, go 500 quid, which will allow you 50p a position, but then build up that position with 10 pences. So you go in with 5 positions at 10 pence each, laddered backwards into the shoreline. You'll understand what that is from the river, and you should be all right. If you're wanting to make this into a wage, 500 quid ain't going to cut it, because you'll be over stressing all the time. You would then need to be into multi-thousands, and that's a different topic altogether. How much do you need for a wage? But if you just wanted, how much do I need to swing and get the account running and everything's all pretty hunky-dory, if you got the leverage, 200 to 500 quid will get you going, and you'll do very well, and you just build it up. It's kind of why I showed you that black bull. I started that with £200 in January with you guys. We're now a few months later and it's up to 900 quid, which is now becoming to bear fruit. So I've compounded it up and built it into a position where it can now start pulling in decent money. But if I had £1,000 to start with, I would have just put £1,000 in and done the same thing. And again, there's another train of thought here. If you know what you're doing, well, of course, you can put your money into your account and away you go. But if you don't know what you're doing, you want to trade really small, and that's why I was showing the micro lots of only 10p, because then it's training wheels and it gets you used to it, and you get the emotional context of trading with real money. Because when you're on a demo account, it doesn't mean anything. You know, if you lose it, so what? Don't matter. You know, but if you've got the account to the size of your emotions, because that's a big thing as well, again, it doesn't matter. It's why I constantly tell you, how much is this going to cost? And if you're at peace with how much it's going to cost, then you're at peace with the market. So it's a strange answer. 500 quid, 10 pence a pip. You'll be fine. It allows the wide and trade any assets you want. But what you will notice is on a lot of companies, Forex is very cheap, but indices, they might bump that up to £1 a position, which means you'll struggle to open it on a 500 quid account. And even if you did open it on that, something like the DAX or the Dow will put a big hole in it very quickly. So try to keep the position sizes as low as you can. Hope that helps. Catch you soon.